Okay, if you can hear me, I'm gonna make the second part extremely short because I want to try and load it up to Facebook and my YouTube spot. So basically, I gave you a rundown of some of the units that I thought was cool and some of the solo artists that could run a standalone movie for the Marvel Universe. And I mentioned the Shroud and Silver Sable and other people in the comics that I have touched upon. So, in doing so, I'm hoping that it reaches out to the producers of these films and hope like hell they like, let's take some advice from this young fella or this old guy who looks young and let's see how these characters can stand up. Readaptation of the Shroud. And hell, I'd play the Shroud if you put me on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or whatever. And, in doing so, I'm a Marvel fanatic. So I like some of these characters, and I'd like to see some of them come to life because everybody by now knows who the fuck the Avengers are. Everybody should have known who the hell Cap was before he even came out, because Cap has had a couple of TV movies, and the same thing with the Incredible Hulk, who had a TV show, and the same thing with Spider-Man, who had a TV show. Two, in fact, because one was done in Japanese, and I like that one better, only for the simple fact that Spider-Man wasn't like poor Peter Parker. He was still Peter Parker, but he was like he had his own apartment with like machines and shit, and he had like a robot. Our Peter Parker didn't get any of that shit. He was poor. He had one web shooter. One. Peter Parker might as well have been black, man, because he had one fucking web shooter for the whole damn season of that show. He had one damn web shooter. And it was a great show. And it was actually a Captain America movie that came out in the 90s that was pretty good. Of course, I'm the only one who's ever seen it. There also was a Fantastic Four movie that came out in the 90s before the one with Chris Evans, who currently plays Captain America. And apparently, I'm the only one that ever heard of it. And it didn't do exceptionally well, I guess. But the Captain America didn't do exceptionally well, but I remember it. I seen it. I was happy with it. I guess you'd have to be a comic fan to have been happy with it. Pretty sure if other comic book fans seen it, they would remember it and they were happy with it. And if so, drop me a line. So when you're doing these like comic book films, at the times that they come out, technology wasn't all that great. But with today's technology and making movies, we could actually just like never ever run out of source material. That's why you have comic books. That's why you have things. And if you want the truth, um, I think they could bring Spawn back. And he's not Marvel or anything, but Todd McFarlane, if you're listening, bring a Spawn back and let's have him kill Chapel. And Life will forgive me. Bring in the Youngbloods, man. I mean, come on, guys. Bring in the Youngbloods. Bring in the Wildcats. Bring in Cyberforce. Bring in Battalion and his group Stormwatch. Image had some good fucking comics too. So let's all bust some moves and get these guys out here on the screen. I will gladly play a member of Youngbloods, just not Chapel. Okay, just not Chapel. Anybody with Chapel. Plus, I'm too small to play. I would like to play Die Hard. If I had to play anybody, I'd like to play Die Hard because he was their answer to Captain America and Spider-Man at the same time. And if not, then I would like to play I can't remember his name, but he was the leader. He had the bow and arrow. Yeah, if I can't play Die Hard, I'd like to play him. But Ray Park would make a great Die Hard. Anyway, so I can close this out now by saying I will do a more adaptation of some of my favorite solo people who I think can hold their own in a standalone Marvel movie. And if you guys Google these characters, you'll probably find them and get a good look at their old costumes and their up-to-date costumes and find out that just Squadron Supreme actually were heroes at one time and now they're fighting against the Avengers. So it's kind of hard to say what's going on with that. And that's just the end of it. My report's over. I'm James Williams Jr. Thank you for tuning in.